I walked into our bedroom after driving 9 hours through a snowstorm, only to find my sister under the same blanket I bought for our anniversary. My husband didn't flinch. He looked at me, smirked and said, "Wish she'd taken the house too." My legs froze. My heart didn't break, it shattered. I closed the door, but not for the reason they thought. If this made your heart stop for a second, don't forget to like, share and hit that subscribe button, because what Florence does next will leave your jaw on the floor. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just turned around and walked back to the car like a ghost. The storm outside was nothing compared to the storm inside me. For the next 3 days, no one heard from me. My phone was off. My heart was cold. I checked into a $40 motel, ate from vending machines, and stared at the ceiling, wondering how long they'd been laughing behind my back. But something snapped on the third night. Not sadness, not pain, power. I opened my old laptop, the same one he called junk, and typed one word into Google: business licenses. He once laughed when I said I wanted to build my own brand. He said women like me don't win in the real world. But what if I turned that pain into profit? What if betrayal was the best business lesson of all? I had nothing but my name, no savings, no backup. But I had one thing they didn't expect: silence. While they posted pictures, I posted results. No one knew what I was doing. My sister had blocked me. My husband filed for divorce and said I could keep the couch. But I didn't want the couch. I wanted everything they said I couldn't have. So I started small, drop shipping candles using a name they'd recognise but never guess: Flux. And just when they thought I had disappeared for good, I made my first £10,000 in a week. But I didn't stop there. I had one goal now, and it wasn't revenge. It was domination. 6 months later, Florence walked into the same house they mocked her in, wearing a custom suit, red lipstick, and heels that echoed like thunder. Her sister opened the door and gasped, "What are you doing here?" Florence didn't answer. She stepped past her, tossed a set of shiny keys on the marble counter, and smiled. "The house is under my name now." Her ex-husband came stumbling down the stairs, half asleep, rubbing his eyes, until he saw her. "What the hell is this?" he snapped. "It's called buying your pain back," she said, eyes locked on his. "You left me with nothing, remember? So I bought everything." 3 weeks before, Florence had contacted the landlord. Turns out the mortgage had fallen behind. The luxury home was listed for auction. She didn't hesitate. She bought it anonymously under her company name and gave them 30 days to vacate. But instead of waiting for the deadline, she came early, with cameras rolling, because this wasn't just business anymore. This was closure. "You always said I wasn't smart enough," Florence said, circling the kitchen they once remodelled together. But guess what? That junk laptop helped me build a brand that outsells your entire annual salary. Every week. Her sister tried to speak, but Florence cut her off. "You stole my husband," she whispered. "He stole my dreams. So I built new ones, and now I'm taking this house, not to live in, but to erase you from it." Her voice didn't shake once. Her ex-husband laughed bitterly. "You think money makes you powerful." Florence leaned in. "No. Silence does. You gave me plenty of it to work with." They packed that same day, but Florence wasn't done. She hired a film crew, posted the confrontation, and within hours, her story was viral. Millions watched, thousands commented. "She's a queen." This gave me chills. That laugh at the end, power. But what no one knew yet was how she made her first million. Because the real twist was still coming. 3 days after the video went viral, Florence was invited to a Women in Tech Summit as a keynote speaker. She stepped onto the stage, facing an ocean of cameras, CEOs and journalists. What she said next shocked even the event organizers.
"I didn't just build a business," she began. "I built it with the same laptop he once said was worthless. The same one he told me to throw away the night he left with my sister."
The crowd fell silent.
"That laptop," she smiled, "it's now my $3.2 million revenue machine."
And then came the real drop.
And guess who my first investor was? His mother.
The entire auditorium gasped. Florence explained how, after being kicked out, she crashed at a local cafe for Wi-Fi, working 14 hours a day on a dropshipping concept she'd been researching secretly for a year. She started with handmade planners, then shifted to digital productivity tools. Slowly, orders trickled in, but she needed cash to scale, so she did the unthinkable. Pitched the idea to her ex-mother-in-law, who always hated her but admired money. She said I'd never be a good wife, but I might be a decent CEO, Florence chuckled. So she gave me $15,000 just to prove me wrong. Within 8 months, Florence had turned that $15K into over $700,000. Her ex had no idea. He thought she was just posting quotes online, while she was silently building a brand that had now partnered with 2 Fortune 500 companies. My revenge wasn't loud, she said on stage. It was consistent. Cameras flashed, journalists scribbled. And in the front row, a major investor texting his assistant, "Sign her now." But back home, someone else was watching that speech in complete shock. Her sister. And the look on her face proved one thing. She hadn't seen the full plan yet. Because Florence was about to buy something even bigger next, something that would destroy every last piece of their pride. The real estate agent looked stunned when Florence pointed at the house and said, "Full cash. Reset grounds." A symbol of restarting from nothing. Meanwhile, her sister's life was falling apart. The guy she betrayed her for had drained all their savings in a failed crypto scam. They were evicted, jobless. And ironically, the only place hiring in the city was Florence's company. The sister showed up in disguise at the front desk one afternoon holding a fake resume. Florence saw her through the security camera, leaned forward and said, "Offer her an internship. Minimum wage, no perks. Let's see how badly she wants to start over." But just as Florence thought the revenge chapter was closing, an unexpected envelope arrived at her office. No return address, just one sentence inside. "You forgot what he did before the cheating." Her hands froze, her breath caught, because what was in that envelope could destroy everything she'd built or finally bring him down for good. Florence locked her office door, heart pounding as she opened the thick envelope. Inside was a flash drive and a single photo. Her ex-husband shaking hands with a man she instantly recognized from a years-old financial scandal. She shoved the drive into her laptop. A folder popped up. Asset Diversion 2019. The screen lit up with documents, recordings, and bank statements. It was worse than she imagined. He hadn't just cheated on her. He had stolen millions from clients using her name while she was still listed as CFO of his startup. If this got out, she wouldn't just be heartbroken, she'd be behind bars. Tears welled up, but not from fear, from rage. He'd used her identity, her trust, her silence as a weapon, and now she had proof. The next morning, Florence walked into a packed investor meeting where her ex-husband was pitching a second chance fintech company. He was all smiles until she walked in. "Florence," he stuttered, "this is a private—" She didn't let him finish. "I know what you did in 2019, she said calmly, connecting her laptop to the big screen. Within seconds, the documents flashed behind her. The room fell silent. Whispers started. One investor stood up and walked out. Then another, then another. Panic swept across his face. "And just so you know," she added, "the SEC got a copy of this last night." That night, news broke. Startup star exposed in multi-million-dollar fraud. Florence's name was cleared publicly, and her ex, arrested, mugshot viral, career over. Her sister disappeared from the city after being spotted cleaning tables at a gas station cafe. And Florence, she expanded, reset grounds into 6 cities. Women lined up outside, not just for coffee, but for a second shot at life. From heartbreak to headlines, Florence didn't just survive, she destroyed everything that tried to break her. And she did it with silence, strategy, and one hell of a twist.